Inferno Match. In an Inferno match, the ring was surrounded by live flames generated through propane-fed pipes hidden beneath the apron. The objective was to set any part of your opponent's body on fire in order to win. The first Inferno match took place at WWE's Unforgiven In Your House pay-per-view in April 1998, featuring Kane versus The Undertaker. The flames were controlled by motion sensors and would rise in intensity during high-impact moves, creating a dangerous environment for both performers. While the visual spectacle matched the storyline themes of characters like Kane, the match type was eventually banned due to multiple safety concerns. The open flames presented a legitimate burn hazard for wrestlers, and the intense heat distorted visibility for the live audience and television cameras. Coordinating the match required the presence of local fire marshals, adding logistical complexity to each event. Additionally, there was no safe way to rehearse or improvise around the fire, limiting match flexibility and increasing risk. The final traditional Inferno match aired in 2006, although a cinematic variation titled The Firefly Inferno Match was produced in 2020 for a storyline involving The Fiend and Randy Orton. It was pre-recorded and featured heavily edited visual effects. WWE has not used live fire in a match format since, but while fire burned the ring, the next banned match buried it completely. Buried Alive Match. The Buried Alive match debuted in 1996 at In Your House 11, where The Undertaker faced Mankind. To win, a wrestler had to drag their opponent into a grave near the entrance ramp and bury them under a full mound of dirt using shovels or a dump truck. The match relied on external staging, including reinforced graves filled with real soil and hidden trapdoors for safety. Held at night for dramatic effect, the setup required heavy machinery, extra personnel, and precise timing. Risks included suffocation, injury during burial, and visibility issues for both the audience and production crew. WWE banned the format due to its complexity, safety hazards, and the symbolism of live burial, which clashed with the PG era. The last Buried Alive match aired in 2010 between The Undertaker and Kane, and if this wasn't scripted enough, the next banned match was 100% real and ruined careers in the process. Brawl for All. The Brawl for All was a shoot tournament held in 1998 featuring real fights between WWE wrestlers. Each bout had 3 one-minute rounds with points awarded for punches landed, takedowns, and knockdowns. Matches ended by judges' decision or knockout. No scripts, no storylines. The format led to multiple injuries. Steve Dr. Death Williams, considered a future main eventer, tore his hamstring and was eliminated early. Bart Gunn won the tournament but was knocked out in 34 seconds by professional boxer Butterbean at WrestleMania 15, effectively ending his WWE career. The concept was banned for exposing untrained wrestlers to real combat, derailing storylines, and delivering no long-term payoff. And if real punches weren't bad enough, WWE's next banned match featured live animals and even less control. Kettle from Hell Match. The Kettle from Hell match took place once at Unforgiven 1999, featuring Al Snow versus Big Boss Man. It combined a standard steel cage around the ring with a larger Hell in a Cell structure outside it. Between the two cages, WWE placed trained attack dogs. The goal was to escape both enclosures without getting stopped by the animals. The match failed immediately. The dogs barked, urinated, defecated, and mated on live TV, doing everything except acting aggressive. Movement was restricted by the double cage, and sightlines were poor for the crowd and cameras. The format was banned after its debut due to live animal unpredictability and overwhelming backlash. It remains one of WWE's most ridiculed match concepts. But if barking dogs weren't dangerous enough, the next match added sharp bamboo and timed trap doors. Punjabi Prison Match. The Punjabi Prison Match debuted in 2006 and was designed for the Great Khali. It featured 2 large bamboo enclosures, an inner cage with 4 timed trap doors, and an outer structure that had to be climbed. Victory required escaping both. The match looked unique but proved difficult to execute. The bamboo was reinforced with steel, making the cages heavy and inflexible. Visibility was poor for fans and cameras. Movement was limited inside the first cage, and climbing the second was slow and awkward, especially for larger wrestlers. After 2 poorly received matches in 2006 and 2007, the format was scrapped. A one-off return in 2017 faced the same problems and was quietly shelved again. And if slamming into bamboo isn't risky enough, WWE once banned a match where losing meant getting stripped on live TV. Evening Gown Match, Bra and Panties Match. These match types were common in WWE from the late 1990s to mid-2000s. In an evening gown match, competitors wrestled in formal dresses, and the winner was the first to strip her opponent. In a bra and panties match, victory came by removing all outer clothing until the opponent was left in underwear. Matches were presented as light-hearted comedy segments, but were overtly sexual in tone, with no pinfalls, submissions, or disqualifications. These matches often featured divas with minimal wrestling experience and were promoted using camera angles, slow-motion replays, and scripted wardrobe malfunctions to emphasize visual appeal. Commentary frequently leaned into innuendo, reinforcing the matches as entertainment segments rather than athletic contests. Despite occasional crowd reactions, the format reduced the credibility of women's wrestling and sidelined serious performers. Both match types were quietly dropped after WWE's shift to PG programming in 2008. The company moved away from sexual content, and by the mid-2010s, the women's evolution redefined the division with competitive standards. But if stripping someone to win was a step too far, the next banned match involved cage fights, sloped walls, and no ropes at all. Lion's Den Match. The Lion's Den match was WWE's attempt to blend pro wrestling with MMA. Introduced in 1998 for Ken Shamrock, the match took place in a circular enclosed cage with sloped walls and no ropes. Held near the entrance ramp, it could only be won by submission or knockout. No pinfalls or disqualifications. The setup mimicked UFC's aesthetic and was used in 3 matches between 1998 and 1999, including bouts with Owen Hart and Steve Blackman. It focused on strikes, submission, and ground-based grappling. The structure looked intense on camera, but the pacing often slowed due to limited space and crowd separation. The match was dropped due to high setup costs, poor visibility, and its misalignment with WWE's focus on spectacle. It was quietly retired after 1999 and never used again. And if you thought this looked dangerous, the next match made WWE rethink how high a wrestler should ever fall. Literally. Scaffold Match. Scaffold matches involved a narrow platform suspended above the ring, typically 15 to 20 feet high. The goal was to throw your opponent from the scaffold and send them crashing into the ring or through tables. The format was rarely used in WWE, but was more common in promotions like NWA and ECW, whose archive footage WWE later acquired. One of the earliest and most infamous examples was the 1986 Skywalkers match at Starrcade, where the Road Warriors faced the Midnight Express. ECW also featured scaffold-style matches, including the high-incident match in 1996 involving Tommy Dreamer and Brian Lee. These bouts left wrestlers with almost no room to move and relied on pre-planned spots to avoid serious injury. WWE never fully adopted the format due to obvious safety risks, visual limitations, and slow pacing. Even a controlled fall could lead to permanent damage. And while this type of match left fans holding their breath, the next one made sure they couldn't see a thing at all. Blindfold Match. A blindfold match required both wrestlers to wear black hoods that fully blocked their vision. Victory was still achieved by pinfall or submission, but without the ability to see. The stipulation was introduced as a novelty and used occasionally in grudge storylines to create suspense or unintended comedy. The most notable example took place at WrestleMania 7 in 1991 between Jake Roberts and Rick Martel. Wrestlers relied on crowd noise to find each other, but the pacing suffered. Extended stretches of inactivity and missed strikes made the match feel disconnected, and the crowd engagement dropped sharply. The format was eventually phased out due to its poor in-ring flow and lack of visual appeal. WWE hasn't used the stipulation on television in over a decade. But if fighting blind was a misstep, the next banned match pushed wrestlers face first into steel, one thumbtack at a time. Hardcore thumbtack matches. Hardcore matches allowed weapons, no disqualifications, and falls counting anywhere. In WWE's Attitude Era, that often escalated to thumbtacks. Small metal pins dunked across the ring and used to drive shock value. Wrestlers like Cactus Jack, Terry Funk, and the Dudley Boys made the spot infamous by taking real bumps onto the tacks, which embedded directly into skin. Thumbtack usage carried serious risks: punctures, infection, and permanent scarring. Most matches didn't use gimmicked props. These were real tacks, and the injuries were real. Spots were hard to control, impossible to fake, and painful by design. By 2008, WWE phased thumbtacks out of regular programming under its shift to PG content. While a few rare exceptions have occurred in cinematic matches or hardcore pay-per-views, the spot is no longer part of standard match design, because in WWE, some matches are banned for safety, others for optics, but thumbtacks? They were banned because they made pain look too real.